Hey, what's up YouTube? It's abluegolfball here today with another Pokemon TCG Online video, and today I have for you guys a Mega Rayquaza EX deck, the Dragon version. This is the 230 HP Dragon type. It's got the, I don't know, that's a Delta trait Wild. Any damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Grass, Fire, Water, and Lightning Pokemon is reduced by 20. And that's actually pretty sweet, meaning if we were to add a Hard Charm, that would be minus 40, which is pretty cool. But we won't be doing that. And Dragon Ascent is the main attack here. It does 300. Well, it's the only attack. It does 300 damage. Discard 2 energy attached to this Pokemon. That's pretty efficient, right? Considering we have a lot of different things that we can do to use Dragon Ascent. So, I'll show you guys why. All right, so we will be playing this guy here, Reshiram, with the ability Turbo Blaze. This is the reason why it's kind of effective to discard 2 energies. We can always Turbo Blaze and be able to attach another fire energy from your hand onto a Dragon Pokemon, meaning we can drop 2 energies in one turn. We'll probably never use Brightwing. For 110, you can discard a fire energy of this Pokemon. If we played Muscle Bands, which we don't, we can knock out 130 HP Pokemon. We'll be playing Hydreigon here, the 180 HP Dragon type Pokemon. Dragon Road is pretty cool. If there's any Stadium card in play, the retreat cost of each of your Dragon Pokemon is 2 less. So that means that this guy is still got to pay at least 1, which is a little bit inconvenient. But the ability works very well for Mega Rayquaza being 2, and also for Reshiram being 2. So that works out pretty well. And otherwise, we'll have Jirachi for Stellar Guidance. And then here's the little tech. Got Keldeo here for the Russian and Retreat. Now, the problem is we only have 1 Float Stone. I want to play more to have a little more consistency. If this gets prized, then you're kind of done for. And same with the Keldeo. It's kind of useless because you already have the Dragon Road for a lot of the free Retreat. Now, the trick is this. Let's say, for example, we got a Switch in hand, right? And you also have a Keldeo with, a Float Stone on there to Rush and Retreat. But, okay, so you have Reshiram as your active. You can Turbo Blaze, right? That's 1 energy, okay? And then you can Rush in and Retreat into another Reshiram. Use Turbo Blaze. That's 2 energies, all right? And then you play the Switch, perhaps to a 3rd Reshiram. I don't know, but maybe you can play the Switch to your Mega Rayquaza. But, I mean, if you have a 3rd Reshiram, which we do play 3 of, then you can drop 4 energies, including the regular energy drop that you drop in your turn. And that means if you drop a double Dragon energy, you can power up a Mega Rayquaza EX in 1 turn with the Russian Retreat and the Switch. Granted, you're going to need a lot of energy cards in your hand. Other ways to power up your Mega Rayquaza is the Mega Turbo. We're going to play 3 of these. Nice and consistent, being able to Mega Turbo and bring the energy back from the discard pile onto your Mega Pokemon. Since I'm done talking about the Pokemon lines, take a look at the items and whatnot. We do have Battle Compressor here. That way we can discard, thin out the deck a little bit. And, you can thin out the energy cards for sure. But you can also thin out, like, Keldeo and the Float Stone, or either or if one of them is prized. But again, I really want to emphasize on the tech here. Keldeo, it could be pretty handy when you're playing against decks that paralyze you, or Hypnotoxic Laser with Seismitoad, Verping City Gym. Keldeo is pretty good to rush in and retreat. Because when you are asleep, right, even with the retreat cost being minimized to nothing using Dragon Road, if you're asleep or you're paralyzed, it's pretty useless because you're not going to be able to retreat anyways. You're going to stuff to play a Switch, right? But if you have Keldeo here, it's a little more useful. So, anyways, 2 Battle Compressors, and then we got a Computer Search here. Very nice. I love playing this as the aspect of choice. Sometimes I go with Thousand Machine, but that's really the only 2. Otherwise, you guys have seen me play with the Scramble Switch and other things like that. We have Escape Rope. Could be pretty handy, to use the Escape Rope, and I like always playing one of those. Is pretty good. The 3 Mega Turbos, 1 Professor's Letter. We got 3 switches, pretty heavy line of switching here, and then we have 3 Ultra Balls to get the Pokemon out, and 3 VS Seekers. And then for the supporters, we got 1 Colress, 1 Lysander, 1 Lysander's trump card, 3 Ends, and 4 Professor Junipers. I think that's 4, right? Yep, 4. And 3 Scorched Earth to discard the fire energy from our hands. 1 of the Float Stones, 3 Rayquaza Spirit Links. And here it is, the energies, 7 fire energies, 1 lightning energy. I do play 1 because the last 4 energy cards is special, the special double dragon energy, in case we run into scenarios where we get hammered a lot. And if there's enhanced hammers, I would like to play at least 1 lightning energy just in case, right? So that's it for the deck. Without further ado, let's go ahead and see this deck in action on Pokemon TCG Online. Alright, and we'll be playing against PNEV, and we're going to have to see who gets to go first. My opponent flipped heads and was able to win the coin toss going first here. We start off mulling again. We get 2 Mega Rayquazas and Juniper, as well as a couple of the double dragons. We see my opponent playing an energy, lightning energy, and okay, we'll start off with the Rayquaza, and it's gonna be a Zapdos and Victini deck, I guess. It's gonna be one of those Fliptini agility type Zapdos with probably Deoxys. We see the Muscle Band, and here is a Juniper discarding and getting a fresh hand. We see the Frozen City. We also see the Acro Bike, and that's the thing, right? Frozen Cities, I'm always reluctant to play the energies, and the reality is I probably should play it, but alright, I'm going to not play it. I'm going to play an N and maybe hope to draw into a Stadium counter and an energy. I think that's the best route right now. So let's go ahead. We're going to do that. And darn it. Hey, we do get a computer search, which we can search for a Stadium perhaps. But I'm going to opt to play the Escape Rope instead. And maybe that way we can buy a turn that way. In hindsight, probably should have just played the computer search for the Stadium counter, but we can do that in the next turn. And now that, because another reason is that I want the Reshiram in the active spot. That way we can use Turbo Blaze as well. And so maybe the next turn, what we can do is play the computer search, discard the fire energy, and maybe something else. We see my opponent play the Zapdos, play the lightning on the Victini, taking 20 damage. We're going to see the retreat. We see a plasma energy from the Colress, and here it goes. There's the agility, and that's going to be pretty devastating. Otherwise, my opponent plays an N. Ah, shucks, the N. And we lost out on a really good hand right there with the Juniper and the computer search. So we end up with the Rayquaza Spirit Link. That's not too shabby. Again, I feel pretty reluctant to play the energy drops. We can definitely play the Ultra Ball and get Jirachi out. So yeah, right now I guess I'm just gonna play all the Pokemon in my hand, as well as the Spirit Link to evolve the Mega Rayquaza, and then just go with the Ultra Ball and Ultra Ball for a Jirachi. And then we'll just probably a Juniper. I could go for a Colress, but let's go with the Juniper. Yep. It's the same thing, right? Colress would get 7 as well. So here we go. We get another Mega Rayquaza Spirit Link. I'm tempted to just bite the bullet and play the Dragon Energy. All right, let's do it. And again, we have a lot of Ultra Balls, so this could work into our favor. Let's go ahead and play the switch and not get knocked out. We'll play down to a Colress. Maybe we'll go with the Keldeo. We'll go with the Hydreigon. And that's it. So here we go. The Zapdos can hit us for another 70. I don't see the Zapdos knocking us out. We could see something like another Colress Machine plus Psychic Energy. And then my opponent can have a Deoxys ready on the bench. You never know. So we see right here my opponent playing the VS Seeker for the Juniper, discarding everything. And hey, another Frozen City Gem. That's really good. That way we could win the Stadium counter and kind of cross our fingers that my opponent only plays 2. And there it is, Agility hitting tails. And the Agility hits heads off of the Fliptini ability. We do get a VS Seeker, so this is pretty good. What I want to do is bring in our only Lysander, and then we'll shuffle it back into our deck, and then hopefully we can draw into it, but we end up not drawing into it. And let's go ahead, we'll counter the Stadium, go for the Turbo Blaze. we can play the Professor's Letter, get the energies out, and then perhaps Turbo Blaze again. We can retreat and sacrifice another one here and have this Mega Rayquaza all powered up. Now, what we really need here is to thin out the deck, and maybe we really need to draw into a Lysander. So there's our Lysander. Now I kind of regret not putting the Lysander back in. Maybe we could have got a VS Seeker, but either way, it kind of works out for us. So let's go ahead. We'll just maybe get rid of the Battle Compressor. I don't know. Perhaps let's take a look. We got 2 fire energies in the discard pile, and we got 1, 2. Let's see here. 2 only. Okay, yep, only 2 Mega Turbos. And let's just get rid of a bunch of Pokemon, and that we don't need to draw into them anymore since we don't have bench space anyway. Well, technically we will, since this Reshiram will get knocked out, but it's okay with me. We do have a Keldeo in there, which we can put a Floatstone on. And in scenarios where we can get paralyzed, the Keldeo can come in and really come in handy. So I think one thing that we're going to have to really deal with here is the Victini. Try to get rid of that for those flips. Or 2, just take out the Zapdos. Too bad we already used the Escape Rope. That Escape Rope is pretty valuable. So there's that Frozen City. And hopefully we don't see any more of those. Already 2 of them are in the discard pile. And my opponent right now is inactive. Cammy is getting a little upset right now, saying, hey, come on, let's get a move on. So we will get hit for 70. Oh, my opponent goes for a Lysander's trump card. And there goes our fire energies that we could have used Turbo Blaze for. Or not Turbo Blaze, but what's that? Mega something rather. The Mega Dark Patch, right? It's basically a Dark Patch. And my opponent has some kind of smiley face thing right there. Maybe my opponent is going to tell me something. Oh, there it is again. T-U-T. Oh, LOL. Yes. All right. My opponent asks, are you recording? And, well, maybe we are. Maybe we're not. Just kidding. Apparently, if you're watching this video, yes, we're recording. And so I'll just go ahead and say, awesome. Thanks. My opponent hits us for the knockout, hitting another 70 damage and flipping tails. And we're going to have to wait and see. Let's go ahead. We'll promote this Hydreigon. Maybe it could take a hit for us. And I don't remember. Did my opponent flip tails twice? I can't recall. We do get the Keldeo here. But I might be... I think I'd rather play it on... I'd rather play the Hydreigon. And let's go ahead. We'll power up this other Mega Rayquaza here. Alright, we'll just go with the Keldeo. Maybe we can run into the Floatstone and we can rush in and retreat. And, okay, so let's go and end the turn. In the next turn, I want a Battle Compressor and get the Lysander. And then we can Lysander out the Victini or the Deoxys. Just play the retreat and then knock something out. Take 2 prizes there. And go on from there. So my opponent right now gets another Zapdos going. And here is a Acrobike. Oh man, these Acrobikes, they're pretty scary. You never know what your opponent can draw. Ooh, more item cards. We see Acrobikes and Trainer Mail. And my opponent gets the Calder's Machine. That could go on to the Zapdos on the bench to power the Zapdos up as a second attacker. And, well, my opponent already has a second attacker in Deoxys. Oh, no, my opponent plays an N and counters the Stadium. No. Oh, that is a bummer. Well, we do get the Double Dragon Energy, which we can play onto the other Mega Rayquaza. Since the Mega Rayquaza on the left with 20 damage is all powered up. And, oh my goodness, can we get a Colress right now? That would be great. My opponent was able to flip heads. And at times like these, we will need to play the switch, and we can always rush in with Keldeo. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to switch into the Reshiram, and we're going to Turbo Blaze onto here, and then I might as well just play that, get some more energy drops, so that this Mega Rayquaza is ready to go. And next, I guess we'll just go with the Battle Compressor, perhaps get rid of maybe the Lysander. That way, if we draw into VS Seekers in the next turn, we can just go for that. But I'm going to go for the energies, so we can use not Turbo Blaze. Why do I keep thinking it's Turbo Blaze? The Mega Turbo. And there it is. So the Mega Turbo is kind of a nice way to get around that stadium, the Frozen City gym. And, oh man, this is not looking good. Let's go with the Ultra Ball. We'll get the High Dragon, kind of thin out the deck a little bit. And let's take a peek at all the cards we got. So we do get the Escape Rope back, so that's actually pretty awesome. So I like that a lot. So we get the Escape Rope. We got a lot of weapons to maneuver around the Zapdos. And let's go for the Mega Turbo. We're going to power up the Mega Rayquaza with the 40 damage here right in the middle. And I'm going to go ahead and rush in, and then our Keldeo can take a hit for us. If we can get the Escape Rope off of the Juniper, that would be sweet. And that way the Keldeo will take a hit for us, and then we'll play the Escape Rope and knocks anything on my opponent's side. We will knock it out. My opponent doesn't have a Sigilyph or a Suicune, so no need to fear about that. And whatever my opponent throws at us, my opponent's got a full bench. We will guarantee knock it out. I don't see anything preventing us to knock us out. Oh my goodness, my opponent brings out a Lysander and knocks out the Reshiram. So I'm actually going to promote probably the Mega Rayquaza, since this one has the free retreat. And we get a Lysander trump card. I don't know how I feel about that. But let's take a look and see. I will play the Double Dragon Energy onto the Mega Rayquaza on the left with 20 damage. Might as well play the other High Dragon. Maybe that can take a hit for us. And we're going to go with the Juniper. And look at that. We get a VS Seeker plus the Battle Compressor to get out the Lysander. And we also have Computer Search, which we can get. We can get the Lysander that way as well. So we're going to go with the Escape Rope. Thank goodness we top decked that. And it's really nice. We have another Mega Rayquaza ready to go. Hitting for 300 damage. Wow, Dragon Descent right there. Ascent, I think. Was that Descent or Ascent? Whatever. We get 2 prizes and discarding 2 energy cards. That is pretty wicked awesome. Hitting for 300 damage. My opponent has these Zapdos again, but we are not concerned whatsoever. We have a lot of ways to get around this. VS Seekers, and we got Computer Search to get the Lysander. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable. We see a Zapdos over there. My opponent goes for a Super Scoop Up, and I think, oh, there it is, a Juniper. That way my opponent, oh my goodness, not this again, countering the stadium. And I think that's it for our stadiums. We're going to have to play the Lysander Trump card to counter the stadium again. But at this point, we really don't need to play any energies from our hand. We got the Mega Turbo, and we are all set up. So let's go with the Computer Search. We'll discard the Juniper. Don't want to deck ourselves out. And maybe even the End, since we're going to knock something out right now. And, alright, we'll go with the colors. Let's get that Lysander. Here it is. Lysander, we got the VS Seeker. Let's bring out the Zapdos with a ton of energy. And I'm going to just go for the Mega Turbo. That way we'll just discard the basic energies. And so here we go, hit him for 300 damage. I know this Mega Rayquaza might get knocked out by the Deoxys. I think that might put us, I think that the Deoxys would do enough damage because we have 4 energies. I'm not really doing the math, but 30, 40, see, I don't know, whatever. It could be a knockout. And so if this is a real match in a real tournament, I'll definitely do the math, and I probably would have retreated. And that's a knockout. Okay, so it was 150. It doesn't matter. We're going to take the win right here. My opponent was able to take 2 wins, or 2 prizes. And that's it. GG. I'll let my opponent know. Good game, and great game. I don't know. Dragon Ascent, hitting for 300. My opponent says GG back, and that's it. Discard 2 energies, and we will take the victory. High fives all around. Mega Rayquaza here, folks. Mega Rayquaza, the Dragon Mega Rayquaza. So yeah, look at that. Hey, look, put 90 evolution cards into play, and I got a long way to go. 90 damage. Biggest attack, 300. Energy played, only 9. Oh, that's pretty nice. Trainers play, 25. Ha! Well, anyways, that was the Mega Rayquaza Dragon-type deck. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. And if you guys like it, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Feel free to do that. And you guys have more deck ideas, shoot them my way. Remember, hashtag build this deck, please, and I'll take a look at it. You guys all have a wonderful day. See you guys later. Goodbye.